What's up, everybody? Welcome to Bios3 Raw TV. Today, what we're going to do is talk a little bit about emotional eating. Emotional eating, or, yeah, I guess that's what you would call it, emotional eating. I mean, I've touched on this before inside the mental dieting video, and it's what a lot of my research and studying that I've been doing lately is, because I'm finding that it's a huge problem. And by research, I don't mean that I'm sitting there reading papers or research done by other scientists or psychologists or whatever. My research is done in the field. People that are in my life, people that I know, friends, clients, family, whatever, when I see how they act towards food. Now, I'm kind of been made aware of this through myself and how I feel about food. And the way I feel about food, and I didn't even know this, I'm actually reading currently Tom Ventuo, his book, The Body Fat Solution. It's about emotional eating. And as I said, I'm trying to do more research because I'm becoming in more and more in contact with people that don't look at food as I look at it, and have a different, and I'm not going to say what's healthy or unhealthy. I mean, that's all relative, but it's a different way of looking at food than the way I usually look at it. Now, I try to figure out why I look at food the way I do, and as with most things, whether it's scarring or good, stems back to childhood. So growing up as a kid, I was never in the situation where my parents used food as a reward. Like, be good and you can have a lollipop. No, I mean, that stuff was like at the dentist. The dentist would do stuff like that. You'd clean your teeth and if you're good you get a lollipop, or the doctor, or whatever. But my parents were never like that. My parents were big on kind of having it in the house all the time. So like we had Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, or those Nestle's Crunches. My mom was a big Coca-Cola drinker, so there was always Coke in the house. And we had milk, we had juice, stuff like that. But there were these other foods in the house that were just always around. Like my parents had cookies and pies and all this shit was always around. I mean, they also had bananas or whatever, but all this stuff was in the house. And since it was in the house, it was never used as a reward. It was like, if you want it, have a little bit of it, but don't overdo it. That's pretty much how we were taught. So now I grew up with this. Like, I would go to someone's house and they'd be like, do you want a treat? Do you want a cookie? And I'd be like, no, I'm all set. They would look at me like, what? You don't want a cookie? Like, no, why? No. Because I had cookies in my house. Anytime I wanted one, I could have a cookie. I couldn't eat a whole box, but if I wanted to eat a cookie, I could eat a cookie. If I wanted to have a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, those little, a cup, I'd have a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. It was not a big deal. So when I went out, it wasn't, or to other people's houses, and they offered me stuff. Do you want a soda? No, I'm okay. You don't? As I got older, it was more, instead of soda, I chose water. Why? Because when I drank the water, which I drank fast, it didn't hurt my throat on the way down, so I chose water. Put Crystal Light in the water. So now I'm drinking Crystal Light, whereas other people, when they put a soda machine in our school, they put a Pepsi soda machine in our school in like 1992. It was the biggest thing, and the kids were like, oh my God, soda, 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 soda. Everybody's buying soda. I'd get milk in the lunch line. Why? Because when I drank it and chugged it, it didn't hurt my throat. So I guess I look at, food a little differently. Now also, food is a social thing where, every Thanksgiving my mom makes her Portuguese stuffing, which I like, or if you go to family events, there's a lot of food, but that's an event. You're not constantly sitting at home shoving food in your face, using it as an emotional tool, and it wasn't used as a reward. So now I'm finding that using things as a reward, the brain starts to realize, oh, cookie, reward, dopamine release, serotonin release, feel good. And it remaps the brain into using that as a tool. So now if you take that cookie away because you're gaining fat, your brain misses it and sends out a signal and says, I need that cookie, I need that cookie. It's almost like heroin or nicotine or caffeine or anything like that. So it's very, very similar to what happens with drugs. So you have a drug-like effect from food, and it causes this emotional eating to feel better. Instead of, some people would reach for a beer, other people would smoke, some people reach for food, and they have that emotional effect. So what I found in this book, Ventuo's book, Ventuo, whatever his name is, they had the 4 core beliefs of highly fit people. And I didn't even know I had these beliefs. It was just kind of like, I didn't choose them. They just kind of, the way I developed. So I was never forced to do this because I was fat or overweight. The first one is food is for building material. I do believe that. I don't believe that you can build a physique or have a good immune system or anything like that without the food. Number 2 is food is for fuel. That I highly believe. I've said that many times. Food is fuel. 3 is food is for nourishment. Again, belief that I guess, I developed on my own without even thinking about it. And food is for stoking the metabolic fire. Again, these are 4 beliefs that highly fit people that Tom says in his book believe. I believe that. I absolutely live by these, okay? Not really sure how I came to be about this, but over time I found through bodybuilding and competition that these are facts, okay? Now, he also has these 10 beliefs and affirmations about food for balance, happiness, and long-term success. These I find also, I have these 10 things going on, didn't even know it, but it helps to, where people will say, oh, Jerry, you're healthy and fit. I can't believe you're eating Wendy's. I can't believe you're having pizza. Why? Why shouldn't I have pizza? Why shouldn't I have Wendy's? I'm not obese. I'm not overweight. I can have those things and not get fat and not lose control and eat. I even went to McDonald's once to see how many calories I could take in a sitting and got in almost 5,000 calories in one sitting. I'm still not fat. Why does that happen? Because I don't do it consistently every day, all day long, and I'm active. My job is on my feet, and I train with weights and do cardio. These are facts that happen every day, regardless of what I have to do. That's how I live my life. It's part of my life, just like breathing and sleeping. I train. You know what I mean? I eat clean foods 90% of the time. So that's, sometimes maybe not 90%, maybe less than that, but, it's okay. One of the rules or the affirmations, it's okay for enjoyment, for social reasons, to consciously and mindfully eat these foods if I stay in compliance with the rules and the quantity limits I set for myself in advance. Which I go out, I don't sit there and say, I'm going to eat 4 pizzas. I say, if I eat a half a pizza, that should be fine. I'm good. So there's limits that I set for myself. I'm totally conscious, aware of my beliefs of food and reasons I eat. I eat pizza because it tastes good. I'm not nourishing my body, but I'm also not going to eat 3 pizzas. I'll eat a half a pizza, whatever I deem that I'm full. When I feel stressed or depressed, I have alternate ways to cope with those feelings. Yeah, I don't use food for them. I used to use drugs. I used to use opiates. I used to use alcohol. But now I have healthier ways. That I had to learn. That was not a given. I had to learn those things. Healthy food that helps me burn fat and build muscle I can prepare in delicious ways. Yeah, so I have my turkey right here, my ground turkey, which some of the flexible diet people would freak out. Seasoned with taco seasoning and apple cider vinegar. Eat it every day. It's a staple of me and my girlfriend's diet. I realize food can be one of life's great pleasures, and completely denying myself of foods I enjoy is not productive in the long run. So if you restrict pizza for the rest of your life, you're going to crack up, pretty much is what it's saying. But don't go and eat a whole pizza. Eat 2 slices of pizza. Eat till you're full. Don't gorge yourself until you pass out. I set a compliance for rules for myself. If I want better results faster, I realize that I may need to tighten up my nutritional compliance. I'm willing to do that if that's what it takes. That's when you get ready for competition. You realize, I got a show coming up. I have to nail it down, buckle things down, and get to it. And that's what you do. Okay, so that's one of these affirmations. Everything I eat will have some effect on my body, and I realize that I eat once in a while doesn't impact me that much. Okay, so when we went to Mexico, I had things that I normally wouldn't eat because the food was different. I brought my supplements with me. I stayed on my diet as much as I could, but I also realized I wasn't working out while I was there. I was active, but I was going to come back softer and a little smaller, and that was okay. I knew what I had to do because when I get back, I went back on my diet, went back to training, and got my shit back together and get back on track. What's most important is that I eat habitually. Is what I eat habitually, so I'm very conscious about what I eat repeatedly day after day. Now that's where the clean foods come in. If you're constantly eating clean foods and you eat 10% bad foods, it's not going to have such an impact as if somebody was eating bad foods 90% and trying to eat clean 10% of the time. So obviously it's the numbers game. So be mindful. Check out this book by Tom Vitua called The Body Fat Solution, 5 Principles for Burning Fat, Building Lean Muscle, and Ending Emotional Eating. Check this book out. And if you guys have any questions about this, shoot me some emails because I'm finding this is a big thing that is keeping people from being lean, keeping them obese, keeping them from reaching their goals. And it's not your fault. There could be literally your brain remapped towards food. So you're using food like a drug, and it's not your fault. It's not a bad thing. It's just a fact that it's happening, and you got to get past it if you want to get past it, and you can get past it. These are the BioBuilt t-shirts that someone was asking about. These are for last year. We got new ones that are coming out for our competitors. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. They should be pretty badass. I got some cool concepts. For now, the blog is www.bios3training.com. The Gmail account is bios3training@gmail.com. You can leave your comments below or send them to me. We're out. I'm going to go eat my turkey now and freak out those flexible dieting.